So, Kefka, Court Mage, 5 mana 4/5. When it enters or attacks, each player discards, then you draw for each type that was discarded. So if you discard something with more than one type, you draw more than one card. If you discard the same thing your opponent discards, well, you don't draw as many. I don't think some kind of discard spammy thing is too interesting here, but it's not bad if you have like near mono black discard spam. That does mean when you play it, your opponent might not actually have a card to discard, and then you're drawing less with it. And then it has an 8-mana ability, which makes your opponent sacrifice a permanent, which is probably going to be a Sapperling token. And it flips into a 5/7 flyer that when your opponent loses life, you draw that many cards. It's going to be your primary source of your opponent losing life. So if you smack them, you draw 5, and I mean, that's usually lights out. Just hitting your opponent once and drawing 5 cards is a lot, but it costs 8 mana, so good luck with that. I'm sure it'll happen a couple games, though. It's pretty steep. It'll probably happen in games where I'm already winning, but sometimes it'll turn the corner. It'll be exciting to have that actually turn the corner. So with discard synergies being a little all in on just this, I'm not super excited about them, but I can see a world where I take out some of these cards and put more discard spells in here, because I actually like discard spells outside of just, this. So, Waste Not and the other Waste Not. This one is kind of terrible to me. It's 5 mana, it's a creature, but it has the same text as Waste Not. I don't expect it to sit in play while I have Waste Not. While I try to actually cast my commander. Displacer Kitten, it's a nightmare with this, but you have to have it in play, and then you have to play this, and then your opponent has to not interact with this. And yeah, if you do it, that's great. Other than that, it's kind of just Grixis control. I'm playing in the midweek event thing right now, which is Final Fantasy Commanders only, and I expect basically just Vivi. So, edict effects and removal for days, Vivi does not like to play against. And that's interesting to me, so we'll try that. And you know what? I'm not going to play the cat. I'm going to run another discard spell. I don't even care if it's 2 mana. I'm going to run another discard spell. I don't think it has to be 2 mana. What's the weird one? This one? Yeah, this one's fine. I like that one. Alright, we'll do that. Let's go. But it wasn't. So we didn't win. Yep, I don't want to miss my land drops. I mean, I have 3, but it's never wrong against whatever the heck this is. I don't feel like I'm gonna lightning bolt anything anytime soon. Am I going to... Yeah, we're still gonna cast this. You can't mana drain it. Oh, okay. I guess you can do that. Cyclonic Rift is interesting, but not in this matchup. Not really. I don't think there's ever like a 7-mana window or just sending it. Alright. Fortunately, they don't have any end-step card advantage stuff, so I like our situation here. I actually like it a lot. Get rid of Dark Ritual, right? Yeah. It's all about the value here. Okay, my opponent's running Stifle, because of course they are. Is there anything in the graveyard yet for Reanimate? Nope. Well, that's a card. I would just cast it if I could. Not for it to resolve, but for Reanimate. That is unfortunately a card I have to answer, so. Doesn't really matter what land I get. That doesn't really matter. I'll get the lounge. They can just blow it up with their little stuff. I'm not going to be color screwed or anything, though. That's my own dig through time. I'd rather my opponent react to it on their own turn. Oh, wait, I should play this as a land so I don't lose a game. My opponent's commander is uncounterable. The all-in blue-white control deck feels a little rough, though. But, I mean, they're not doing anything, so... Is that flash? No? Alright. I mean, they countered theirs, so maybe they counter mine, and go back and forth with it. Still up cards. Alright, well, you hate to see Spell Pierce get value. Yep, we're just gonna Windmill Slam Grenzo, because again, we have Reanimate. Actually, Grenzo doesn't even steal anything good. Like, I can't actually even get anything crazy out of my opponent's deck. Which is kind of lame. Oh, that is probably the best possible commander counterspell, because I lose Grenzo with the shuffle. That was the best possible counterspell for that spot. Wow. That is really bad. Opponent had the perfect answer. Okay, they finally played a card that doesn't do anything. Like to see that. Can I afford to play around... Oh, okay, I was going to say I play around something, but I guess I now don't do that. Kroxa is not as good as my commander here. We're going to cast our commander. I'm not convinced you just top-decked Treasure Cruise into Wash Away. You can't convince me that's what just happened. No way. Alright, we definitely just get rid of Lightning Bolt. I think instant is the least likely discard. Wow, they discarded a... Wait, that answers my commander. Okay. They got rid of a commander answer. That's weird. That's really weird. Okay, I get another... Go of it? Okay. Chad, I'm a bit confused here. Let's get rid of Kroxa. No, we can get rid of Memory Deluge. Opponent's going to run out of cards, so... Yeah, I'm gonna just Schmeat every card in my opponent's hand. It was Cyclonic Rift. Alright, not even really a good one. So now I have to compete with their commander in play. And I'm fairly positive I can. Fairly positive. I should probably play Stock Up instead of Black Market Connections, actually. Okay, Jace does it. Rusko is probably also very annoying for them. If they play their commander, they can't play the other card in their hand. They do not even think about going for their commander. Don't even hesitate. I will Jace Plus in this juncture. Get rid of Valgavoth, it's not really doing anything. Could reanimate it as well. Could reanimate it. Opponent kept Devout Decree. I feel like that's insane. Alright. Yeah, we're always going to just attack the top of the deck here. Make sure they draw poo-poo. You can keep the poo-poo. And we pass the turn? Or do we want Valgavoth in play? Nope, no reason. There's no reason. I do not care about this Devout Decree. They can name my commander and kind of take it out of the game entirely. But I don't really care. Absolute virtue. Now we can reanimate Valgavoth. I mean, to be honest, I could have done it last turn, but we're going the slow, greedy control route. Huh. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so they do not get anything. They're probably just going to concede to Valgavoth. Actually, hold on. Crocs is just better to cast here. Yup. Crocs is just better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just better. I'd rather just present a resilient threat here. I could just do both. Chat, why am I so hung up in not casting my, like... Why do I not want to reanimate Valgavoth? I just have such a nasty experience with it doing nothing. That's the main problem. Alright, we'll just reanimate it. It's literally lethal. Their commander can't beat Jace. The game is over. They can't do anything. I just bounce it with Jace and they lose a game. Oh, they get to shuffle. They get to shuffle. And then you wonder why I don't play Valgavoth. Because my opponent gets to shuffle. Fair enough. See, I knew there was a reason. I should have trusted my subconscious. They get to shuffle the top. And it was a sweeper! It was a sweeper! And then you wonder why I don't do it. And then you wonder. Chat. You ever just wonder things? Okay, alright, bro. Okay, you got it. Yep. You got it. Oh, it's just ridiculous. Yep. Runner, board wipe. Alright. Respect to the opponent, though. Well played. Well played. It's ridiculous. Then you wonder why I don't reanimate Valgavoth. Do I want to make a 3-2? I don't think it matters, so I won't. Let's, play Rusko and just kill my opponent with a bunch of spells. Yep, they're just dead anyways. Okay. No, they're not. They have protection. Oh, wait, no. That's not how that card reads. That's not how that works. It's not how it works, chat. Get rid of Baleful Strix. Okay, they're actually not dead. 2 mana left. Opponent is not dead. Alright. Opponent's not dead here. Made a bit of a mistake then. I made a mistake. Actually, we can undo that mistake by just drawing the Baleful Strix. Yeah. No, I want that. Let's get rid of this. Okay. I don't need my commander anymore anyways. It's not doing anything. Take action.
Yeah, we just want this in play so they can't swing at me. Runner, runner, sweepers. After random shuffle. I love it. Alright. I will block that with the... Wait. What? They just left themselves dead. After all that, opponent? After all that you've just done? Tragic. Tragic. Yep. Good thing I got the Baleful Strix, though. I mean, I could have just kept my commander in play, quote-unquote, and not swung, but... Yeah, my line of thinking had changed in the middle of the turn there. Okay, you know what? I respect my opponent for going to the deepest of margins to find the craziest of outs. But they shuffled the best thing ever. This is actually better than Farewell because it blows up Jace the Mind Sculptor. So this was like the only card ever that did anything in that spot. Because if I still had Jace, there's not much they could do. I could keep bouncing the commander. And this was already gone by that time. Oh, it could have been River's Rebuke, but that doesn't permanently answer my stuff. So this is probably the only card, actually, that keeps them in the game. It's not Vivi. Kefka was the most... Really? You saw Kefka the most in this event? Okay. Well, that's good to know, I guess. Do I kill anything? I think I do. Yep. Let's play this. Although there's a good chance I Cyclonic Rift something, so... Alright, maybe I don't Actually, I should Cyclonic... No. We're gonna greed out the Cyclonic Rift because we have Mana Rock, so... That's okay. Uh-oh. They have the removal spell. Oh no. Oh no, there it is. Crazy. Alright, well, surely this works and I untap it and things are great. I'm not discarding either of these. They did not discard a lamp. Wow. Alright, so if I cast this... I can actually just wait here. And plays the laugh. Trademark, I guess. We're gonna do this now. I'm not gonna try to actually flip my commander with Dark Ritual. That doesn't... I don't like that. Not against the mono black deck. I should have probably done that slightly different, though. I let my opponent go to combat. Yep, and literally, absolutely, and completely and utterly max punished. Because why wouldn't I be, right? Why wouldn't I be max punished for letting my opponent make a rat token? It only makes sense. It only makes sense. Oh, look! A card that would have helped me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Well, everything's kind of lame here, but... I guess it is what it is. I think I'm going to wait till my opponent's end step and take 7. Although this is the kind of deck that it is. Maybe that's just stupid. No, I'm going to wait. We're going to wait. I don't care. It is extremely powerful to wait, so... And apparently my opponent has nothing but removal. That's not great.
If that's the case, I'll just play this instead. Mana Drain is fine. I don't care if they know about it, so good luck. I'll Mana Drain not their commander? Okay. Doesn't work. I will now Mana Drain their commander. Hey, my opponent had the only card in black that actually stopped it. Look at that. Look at that. I can't Fatal Push. Imp's Mischief. That's pretty cool. Brainstorm is good, but so is Cryptic Command. Let's kill Sephiroth, though. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty sweet. that's pretty sweet. Alright, I don't care. I can just bounce it. Return, draw. We got Imp's Mischieved. Let's hold priority, cast this, and then activate this. There we go. That way, Seek New Knowledge actually does something spicy. Oh, I should have floated this. Oh, I didn't float the actual Midnight Clock mana. Hopefully that doesn't matter, but... Alright, Dig Through Time, not looking too ideal right now. And we play Psychic Frog? Correct. Oh look, it's a removal spell we know about. No way. Okay, well, my opponent's still in it to win it, I guess. Just not looking too good here for them. Let's not keep the crack land, there's no reason for the fetch land. Yeah, it's just, Alright, we didn't get blown out by accidentally giving them the rat token for the night, fortunately. Oh, speaking of Doomblade, that's Zodiark. I've not played against that one yet. That's spicy. Okay. Alright. That doesn't look like it's gonna do anything. But you know what? It's a castable card. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Alright, well, we're not discarding Baleful Strix, I guess. My opponent's also not keen on killing it, so... It shall sit there and stare at you. Each player sacrifices half of their stuff. Sacrifice another creature. Alright. Okay, it's indestructible. Oh, they didn't take Narset. Whoa, what are you doing? Second discard spell? Nope, just insanity. And a cut down. Wow, that Baleful Strix just gave me, like, infinite value. Let's do this and get, I guess, Watery Grave? Yeah. Oh, look at that. We already have Archmage Charm in, and look at that. Easy. Easy. I agree, it looks good. I can't deny that. This is the Black Ragavan, right? It's like the weird Black Ragavan. I will just do this. I'm not gonna... Mind Spike is very useful here. But so is Tail's End against an indestructible threat, so we'll take that instead. Okay. Guess I should have killed it on my opponent's turn. Tragic. Oh well. What does this do? Okay. Doesn't really do much of anything. So, Ragavan's interesting. I'm not gonna not
Yeah. That is a weird card. I can't say I care about anything it's doing, but it's doing stuff, I guess. Opponent knows about the Tail's End, so that is nuts. That is completely insane. You play Doomblade with black commanders just so if it gets stolen, that's like deeper than the deepest trench in the ocean. Yeah, that's true. Tail's End can't target Tail's End, so they can't mischief Tail's End specifically. But they didn't know I had Tail's End, right? No, they did. That's the whole weird thing. They knew I had Tail's End, and then they just sent it, and then left. I think almost every deck I play has an MDSC in it. Usually 1 or 2 on average. Probably about 1 on average. Oh look, it's the best card in the game against me. Awesome. Totally awesome. Eerie Ultimatum and Doubling Season. That is a bunch of nonsense. Well, let's wait a minute. Hold on. That was a mistake. Chat, I made a mistake. I shouldn't strangle this. That was a mistake. Could have just got Xander's Lounge. Whoops. Oh, we have another card? Probably just surveilling. Do they have another surveil? Oh yeah, they're 5 colors, of course they do. They do not? Alright, I'll take that. Well, my opponent doesn't have access to that anymore, but I don't think they care too much. Let's get rid of Fatal Push, I think. Strangle is also completely reasonable. But we're up against the deck we're up against specifically, so I'll keep Strangle. Sure. Could have washed away this, but I have an answer for it, and I don't really care what it's doing. Oh, wait, it has ward... Wait, that's fine. That's... Yep, that's reasonable. Okay. Yeah, I figured as much. What? Okay. I guess it's a Toxic Deluge game. Land? Yeah, we can keep Charm, I guess. It's not a land, but it's okay. That's fine. Could have cast Karak, so just sent it here. Eh. I'd rather my opponent be concerned with stuff. That's not a land. I think I'm not keeping that. So... Black market connections? Sure. I think this is really good, so... And they seem like a creature deck. It has cycling, but you can't use it in any context in the command zone. Like, you just can't use it. That is never at any point a creature, right? It's just an equipment. Okay, yeah. Do I draw? Oh, I don't think so. You know what? Let's draw. I'm going to... I think I'm still going to Toxic Deluge that. And then just play this? Okay. Best to not take more damage. Yeah, that is what this is. A little late to the party there. Well, that one they made a bit of a whoopsie dipsy. So now what? Jace, bounce. If I'm doing that, I'm always doing this. So yeah, we kind of have to address this token. I could have maybe played my commander. No, that doesn't feel right. Wait, this is only non-land. Okay. Cryptic Command can tap stuff. It doesn't have to counter anything. Probably bounce the Aether Spark. Maybe feels like the best line there. Could just minus and minus and bounce. No, we definitely wanna brainstorm. It's hard not to and that is a reason to brainstorm, chat, let me tell you. Alright, no Croxa window right now. And probably no... oh, actually. That's not being cast. Alright, let's do that. These are not being cast right now. And Blasphemous Edict. I really don't want to shock myself. I'm not gonna lie. Don't want to shock myself. So I don't think I can shock myself. I think this game is going to last longer than that, and then the black market kills me. So I don't think I can do that. They also have an Unearth card, which with haste, and I can't actually like kill that with Archdruid's Charm anyways. I mean Archmage's Charm. That is a non-token. Croxa can take out the last card, but so can Kefka, honestly. I can't cast Croxa. I could just bounce their... I could actually just bounce here. No, I really am interested in taking out my opponent's last card. Okay, Reanimate is not realistic. And I want the land. But I don't think I can keep it because everything else is fine. Yeah, I just can't keep the land. I want all the other cards. So be it. Let's take out that last card. It was, drum roll please, Elish Norn, okay. Good to not play against. And in my opinion, I'm not gonna make a move pre my opponent's turn. I would not have played the land till after. I can let them swing. If they swing at Jace, I almost feel like, why don't you just swing at me? I'm dead to the black market connections, aren't I? Huh. Okay, I shouldn't have let him swing, chat. Leave it to me to make the worst mistakes possible. I let him get an Ash trigger for no reason. So if they cast this card, I get more out of the... of this. Leave it to me. Yeah, this is all just really stupid. Wow. Impressively stupid. Whoops. I'm going to upkeep the dig through time because I don't want to cast reanimate. And I'm just always casting dig through time, so... Hello? What? The heck? That was weird. 2, 3. Oh, it just didn't let me click my cards. So, Drown is fine. And Seek New Knowledge can be useful. Alright, drew that. That's not great. Do I have to draw here? I mean, it's a question of can I draw here? I don't think I can. Okay, game, calm down. So, here. What is Witness Protection doing? Okay. I can pay for the ward and I can kill Roaming Throne. Another pre-combat land idea. Should probably -5 here. I would not just plus. You can wait till after combat. Just swing first, see what happens. Yeah. This is literally lethal, so maybe we're done swinging with Jace. Alright, there we go. There we go. Now we're going... Now we're going upstairs. Should still probably draw. Probably should have done it pre-combat because they could have found a counterspell. Do I have any way to get rid of this black market connections? I don't think I do. Think Jace has to spin again? Not convinced I have a good alternative line. Let's see what the card in hand is, I guess, first. Oh, excuse me. Might have to just bounce, actually. Because I can't cast Murderous Rider, I'll die. Yeah, I think I just have to... Bloop. Just get rid of a thing attacking me. Murderous Rider can be cast next turn, and that would be life gain, and I kind of have to cast it next turn if I aim to use it and stay in the game. So, like, I go to 2, cast it, go to 1, swing. They can cast their commander twice? Correct. I will make them do that. Oh wait, that's not a mana rock. It's a weird equipment. Never mind. I thought that mana rock was thought there was 2 of them. There it is not. What? Is it indestructible? No, they just wanted loyalty on the Aether Spark. Chat, was that just a massive, huge mistake that just shattered the tension? I think my opponent just completely and utterly shattered the tension of this game with that play. It's kind of unfortunate. Oop, oop. I'm used to just casting that. Kind of unfortunate. Let's not get into trouble. I don't have to swing at my opponent. I don't have to. Oh, I could have swung at the Aether Spark. But it's not a creature. It's not a creature. I just want more blockers. That's all I want. This isn't drawing 2. You can equip it all day. I don't care. A lot of options on the table. What does that do? Okay. Hey, they have Valgavoth in their deck. Why does my opponent have Valgavoth? Why do they have Valgavoth? Could have put this on red, but there's not a ton of red cards in my deck, and I'm not too worried about it. Do you not have a land? Oh, there we go. It's just tapped. Let's kill this thing? I guess they'll just pick up Valgavoth and have that somehow matter. I don't know. Seems a little insane to me, but alright. It's in your hand. You got it. Tail's End. Well, unfortunately, no stock up for us. No stock up for us. Oh, it's Zombify again. What do you want from me, Zombify? What do you want? Calm down. Another tap land. Really, really tragic for the Sephiroth player with all these tap lands that clearly won't do anything. Kind of tragic. Well, those are cards. I like those. Do I have a way to discard this? I do with my commander, but I need red mana. Tragic. Alright, we'll keep it in the deck for final parting. Okay, well I drew the red source, that's funny. So I can cast Final Parting, or I can just wait next turn where it's just, like, can do it all at once. Chat, we're gonna do it. We're gonna Gristlebrand, we're gonna... Oh, wait. Okay, wait, no, I didn't... It's not in the graveyard yet. I got ahead of myself, like, emotionally. Another tap land, by the way. Another tap land. That is maybe too much, opponent. Maybe too much. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, Jinkataxius. You're up. You're up, buddy. Valgavoth is probably right, but I really do not care. Reanimate. Alright, we're going to 9. This is probably just really not great, but I don't care. I really don't care. Look at that. Yes. Oh, yes. You're gone. Keep Zombify. You're gone. You're gone. And... stock up? Who needs cards when you have cards? Pretty sure we know of a removal spell. Oh, there it is. Alright, what does this do? Reanimate something. Or I lose life and stuff. Alright, let's do this. And then play Shieldred? Because my opponent doesn't want to play against it. Also, my opponent actually got to Valgavoth mana, which is insane for a Sephiroth player. That's just, like, nuts. I think I should let their commander resolve, because I really do not want to get wrecked by Valgavoth resolving. Which could be a problem. We'll just take our lumps and then get stuff going. Alright, so you. Yes. Alright, Zombify. Get in there. Attacking is a bit loose. Seems unnecessary, actually. Okay. And I will make no moves, even though it saves me an extra card. I'll just make no moves here. Who needs Fatal Push? I don't. Alright, so they have to deal with Jin-Gataxia, so they lose their entire hand. I can't believe my opponent hardcast Valgavoth. No. Itch me to... Nope. Yes? Get rid of Psychic Frog? No, I think I can function on 2 lands, so let's get rid of this thing. Let's get Blood Crypt. I did just pull Mana Drain. No, we're getting Blood Crypt. We know what this game is about. We know what it's about. Giant Growth, Blanchwood Armor. Whoa! Alright, this is not at all what I expected. What the... I don't even... Alright. I maybe went a bit overboard on my approach at dealing with Tifa. Well, that was probably one of the best draws I could have had. So, there you go. Enjoy that. I can take some damage for a little bit here. That's fine. Actually, this works out. The Witness Protection just starts ruining my opponent's value train here. I didn't draw land, but again, this game kind of just revolves around 2-mana cards. By all means, you can swing at me. I wouldn't even swing here. I actually wouldn't even swing. Okay. Yep. Sure. The Witness Protection just buys me, like, basically infinite time. Yep. Uh-huh. We're gonna do this. Because it's post-combat. I would love a protection spell here. Sweet. Oh hey, it's Valgavoth. Psychic Frog is another avenue to discarding cards, actually. It's funny. Why do you exist, Psychic Frog? Why do you actually exist? Who hurt a WotC employee? Who let you do this? I'm gonna force my opponent to show lethal. I can go to 1 and have it not matter. Alright. We just hyper omega cyberbullied Tifa. I am not going to play Mage. Actually, yeah, I can still leave up Mana Drain. I mean, this is a spot where if they play a land, they just concede to the Mana Drain. If they don't find a land, they also probably concede. Overlord, sure. You know what? You can have that. That's okay. That's fine. Let's get a land here. You can have Overlord. Should I have, nah. Could have played my commander, honestly. Alright, they're just over it, yep. I mean, this game was just over. I kind of do whatever I want. Yep, just mulligan for cards that matter and just lights out. Alright, there's Tifa, now VV, come on. Show me the Titans. All we've really seen for the big ones is kind of Sephiroth. Also have not seen Kefka. Maybe it just tries to not play you against yourself? Maybe? Who knows? Could be the case. Well, all the decks I want to play against are on the play, which is not really ideal at all. But can make it work. Yep. That is an eroded canyon. Wow. Okay. That's just a straight up eroded canyon. That's neat. I'm gonna get the Triome here. Triomes are like just so good. So amazing. I love them. What does that do? Makes the otter? Okay. Cling to dust. What if I just did this instead? I think they have some kind of lightning bolt. Could be a... yeah, it could be something like that. This doesn't level up into anything scary until the very bottom. Deduce. Okay. Still a 1 mana spell. Yeah, the midweek is Final Fantasy. You can play Codas. Codas is a really interesting mutate deck. It's actually kind of cool. Do I counter this? The problem with this card is there's like nothing it does. But I guess my opponent's making me play the game, so I'll play the game. I feel like maybe this is a little odd of an idea here, but the only major issue is if I hit something very serious, I just like Mana Drain or something. Standard legal? Oh yeah, I guess so. Could be a standard Brawl deck with like 40 extra random cards in it. They can pick up Deduce. Alright, you got it. They do not pick up Deduce. I will not cling to dust then. Well, if there's not a land on top for Arid Mesa, then maybe we do. I'm playing the exact game I want to play, so hopefully we have an advantage. I think we do. My opponent is definitely floating a ton of mana every turn. Oh wow, really? Alright. You got it. That just makes VV way harder to cast for the future. Can get either of these. More blue is fine. More black is also okay. Inquisition's not a land, but it's not useless. It's not a land. We know what this game is about. Okay, come on. Don't do this to me, please. Alright, it's doing it to me. So, stock up. Land. Sure. Could have Dark Ritualed Black Market, because I don't actually have Wash Away. Could have just done that. But I didn't. Again, we know of a 1-mana card that I think targets something that is not a creature. I don't think I'm interested in that now. So there. Cast Baleful Strix. And pass? No. No. We get things going here. We're gonna cast Croxon. Is a good sign. So cast Croxa again? Or I suppose I lead with this in the off chance my opponent discards something to seriously reanimate. So let's do that. Not very likely. In fact, it's very unlikely. Okay, it didn't happen. So land, and there's nothing to reanimate except Croxa, which to me is weird. So I'm not going to. I could do it, but I'm not going to. I think my commander flipping is actually possible. Get rid of Cyclops Superconductor. Okay. Alright. They're over it. So whatever they reanimate here, like, or whatever spell they grab, it's probably 3 steps ahead. Although this is also reasonable to grab, because I am at, what, 13, and this is in play. But I'm going to Dark Ritual, and I'm going to Cling to Dust whatever they target, so they don't have access to it. Unreal. Haywire Might nullifies my card. So that's unfortunate. How do you just not do anything? Okay. Do you protect your hit? Nope. I didn't think so. Opponent didn't do. They didn't even swing. What the? Okay, what are you doing over there? Opponent, what are you doing? Stop. Stop having these weird issues that I have to deal with. A braid is another answer to Tifa, I guess. Yep. Opponent, what are you... What are you doing? Stop. Can easily discard Jin-Kataxis here. Alright, it worked out. Worked out quite nicely, actually. Surely you play Tifa now. Surely. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Alright. Alright. So... Yeah? Wait, we should swing first. Yeah, that'd be funny. Let's get rid of a land. We should swing first. I think I'm always duressing my opponent here. Opponent had a lot of weird cards. A lot of weird... Alright. Whoa. That is... I mean, this is not Ragavan. That's not what this is. But it looks cool. It does look cool. I like it. Do we have a removal spell? We do. So we should still cast this because it's a red deck and I don't care. Because Psychic Frog is stupid. This card is like... This card is insane. I say it's insane, but it's also like... There's also like... Other cards that are like... Opponent, you literally 3-for-1'd me. Your Molten Impact made me lose 3 cards. Like how this is actually a better case scenario, right? It's just a measly little Psychic Frog. It's no big deal. I mean, your Molten Impact just made me discard 3 cards. Why did you concede? That has to be better than killing the frog. Surely, right? What's the big deal? It just has a little wording on it. It's no big deal. It's not like it replaces all the cards I lost and then you just got counterspelled for free. Fine? It's alright, I guess. I'm not gonna respect, something. Okay, well I guess I will respect that. I'm not going to brainstorm on my opponent's end step. Alright, let's find out if we lose. We do not lose. Huge. Do that. Play this. And pass. Remember, seek new knowledge does not shuffle. Cling to Dusk can hit some pretty interesting stuff here. Oh, they kept it on top. Sure. I would like to draw, but I think this is about the same. Let's get rid of Ruska. Actually, we can get rid of Bitter Triumph. Yeah, the rest of my hand is actually solid. We're drawing Final Parting. No, take your time. So, Rusko gives me mana, but Jace is, like, insane in an empty board, so I'll just do that. They also kept a card on top. I can actually do this. I will put that to the bottom because my opponent didn't want it, or they kept it on top. So, maybe it matters. They kept that land on top. It was also a tapped land. So, they kept it. It worked! Chat, it actually worked. No way. It worked. Oh, it worked. We actually mana screwed him with the... We did it. I mean, they kept a tapped land on top, so you know they need a land, right? Let's see, do they get a land here? Nope. That is Ward 1. Let's not cause issues. Alright, Jin-Gitaxias with my opponent's mana screwed is probably just lights out. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I want Valgavoth. No. Nope. My boy Jin. Alright. What do you got? Oh, that was the best Jace Plus I've ever had. I love it. All of the transformations are humans, and we have Moon Mist. Oh, there you go. There's the tech. They can only kill one of these, and I would trade. Okay, they didn't. Rip. My opponent lost their entire hand. What was it? That, and that. Oh, man. Oh, I'm so happy that just happened. Chat, we're just so happy. I mean, I couldn't be more happy. Okay, let's actually cast cards. So, my opponent's going to concede when I do this. I mean, it's just, might as well do it. Yeah, there's just, I mean... We had a very wide range of games that playing in the midweek thing, I didn't expect as many, as diverse a range of opponents as I got. I would actually argue I kind of almost got a wider range of opponents in the midweek thing than I did normal Historic Brawl. And if people, again, every single deck I play in for the past 2 to 3 months, everyone says, oh, the commander you're playing is in this bracket, so expect that. It has not ever seemed to line up that that's ever the case. So I don't know what this plays against. I'm sure it does play against tougher things. If it does, then you're just playing, your typical 1-2 mana drain crazy nonsense, and that's the only thing that's gonna really impact the major. I don't know. Let me not talk about Hellq for a bit for once. I liked what this was doing. It has a cool effect. It's really cool. It keeps its effect on attack. For some reason, cards like these lately don't seem to want to continuously do something after they enter. I don't know why they've gone that route, but it seems like the past, at least the Final Fantasy set, like Sephiroth, for example, actually continues to do stuff, whereas other cards that might be similar don't. It's cool that this does have Titan text. I like that. The 8 mana flip technically came up twice, where there was one game my opponent scooped because it was going to be passed to me, and I had the ability to flip this, but they scooped before I even played my 8th land, so there was no guarantee I had it. And even if I did, there might have been a chance I just keep up my mana for interaction and not want to do the other side of it. But you can sort of get blown out if you try to flip and hit your opponent, but you can't really go for it unless you know it's gonna work, in my opinion. Unless you have nothing else to do, and then you just send it. But if you smack your opponent for 5 and you draw 5 cards, you don't really care after if they sweep your board, because you gassed right back up, and Kefka probably did more than you could even ask for in the average game if you actually hit them. It isn't quite Phage the Untouchable, but it is arguably close enough. You pay 8 mana, you flip it, and then you fly at their face, and you just, you're burying your opponent in cards. Probably. Barring them having any weird stuff in play. So, it's kind of nice. If you like Phage... Is it Phage or is it Phage? I think it's Phage. Phage is the red-white escape thing. So, Phage the Untouchable. If you like that card and always wished you could play it in the command zone without just immediately losing upon casting it, this is kind of like that. And you also get to play blue and red, so it's even probably better than that, right? Well, I mean, everything is quote-unquote better than Phage, because you can't actually cast it, but, if you could cast it, this probably competes with Phage in a rather reasonable margin. I liked the Zombify. Could have maybe ran 1 or 2 more of these, Although I kind of start to sweat at the 5-minute breakpoint of these. And slightly more scary large threats to just put into play with this. Celeste is just going to be better than that. Better than this card at doing that. Just wheeling your hand, finding the reanimate spell, and then finding the big thing. Celeste is just categorically better. But you have blue, you can play counter spells, you can play a maybe much slower game, have the control elements that I am very down bad for, controlling elements, so I'm going to throw them in my decks if I can. I still have never won an invert polarity flip, if anyone's curious. It's yet to happen. The discarding of Baleful Strix is cool, right? It counts as 2 card types, assuming your opponent doesn't discard one of these 2 types. However, Baleful Strix also is fine to just actually cast, so I don't think that's a downside. It's just you just find yourself not normally discarding it. The only things you can discard are cards you haven't played yet. So, and this is at the top of the deck, right? Everything else doesn't cost more than this, so it's not like I'm discarding quote-unquote a dead card, unless it's one of the big things, like one of these. Not even really interested in discarding Grenzo, to be honest. So, the benefit of doing that is you're probably, more often than not, discarding a card that in any given matchup is not that great, right? But if you're so fixated on the top of this part, Celeste is doing that so much better. The discarding of your opponent is actually kind of nice, I won't lie. If you flicker this repeatedly, congratulations. We actually played somebody who played Kefka with all of the waste knots, the monuments, the flicker effects. We played that against that Kefka today. And I'm going to say it now, I would have won that game if I didn't discard my only land. I got stuck talking about what I was going to do to win the game next turn because I was going to sweep their board and have Jace the Mind Sculptor just, vomiting value and there's just nothing they could have done. But I accidentally discarded my land, and that blew me out of the water, and I just lost. Suddenly, all of the discard, waste not, flicker effects mattered because I allowed my opponent to untap with their commander, and I passed the turn back, and then it was over. But I just gave up my window. I just blundered that game so hard. But yeah, all of the stuff my opponent did before Kefka was swinging, all the waste not effects, just didn't do anything. So they just play this 2-mana enchantment. They actually did have duress. I had to counterspell for it, but they did have duress, to be fair, with the waste not. But if it's just like that value just doesn't get, the waste not value doesn't get realized until too late. Or so late that in the intermediate, waste not didn't do too much for you. You can definitely go heavy-handed in that direction, right? There's probably a way to remove all the red cards in here, so you can play as few red lands as possible, and then go super more into black, so you have all that Liliana of the Veil discard waste not nonsense. Even Go Blank, I actually kind of like Go Blank. And you could play all that, and you can also run more reanimate effects. You can add Faithless Looting, so you have more ways to reasonably discard these and have this side option. It is cool to have this reanimate package and not have it be the primary objective of a given deck, and that is cool. I like that. The final parting reanimate thing is on 6 mana is just really scary for a lot of decks. It doesn't even really matter what you get. Well, it kind of does. I'd say usually Crystal Brand is not safe to reanimate, then pay 7 life, because that's more than half your life total, assuming you even have any life left to play the strategy. So, but yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. It's pretty cool. It's neat. It's weird. It doesn't do any one thing too much, but it does a bunch of different things a little, and that leads to interesting lines, and it's not a straightforward Grixis control. You can do other things. You can sprinkle around other ideas in your deck. Most of the time I play against this, actually every time except today, that one player. Every time I've seen it, it's been control. I've not seen anyone actually try a waste not effects style thing with this. And, you know, again, the main reason is you're playing a 5 mana 4/5 at sorcery speed, and it has to, like, ideally you have to untap with it to start to actually truly utilize your waste not effects. The initial discard is great, but you're gonna want to use your waste not for more than one card. You know, you can't just, haha, you discarded a card and I drew some cards, and then waste not gave me 2 floating black mana because you discarded a land, and then it didn't do anything else because you killed this. So, right? Same with monument. You play monument, you draw an extra card. Okay, or make a treasure token. Like, yay. I'm sure there is some kind of heavy creature strategy that likes all the discard, and then you drop the blue instead of the red, and then you add red. So you're black-red, and you play a bunch of creatures that kind of care about madness and care about getting discarded. You can put more reanimate in here and a little bit of the Rakdos beatdown, and then this is your top end, right, at 5. And then you can do that. So that's kind of cool. So this is another commander that I think I will have to revisit multiple times to get a wide range of ideas of what it can do. But all in all, I think the waste not idea is definitely the weakest. Not to say it doesn't do anything. It's just the one that requires the most to be to keep up with the others kind of ideas there. But some of these cards like Rusko didn't have to be in here. I actually did kind of like Rusko. It wasn't bad. I know it's considered one of the best cards in the format, at least in the command zone, according to Wizards. I think it's in Hell Q. It does seem to struggle in Hell Q more than it used to. I don't even know if it still is. It's like a 4 mana that comes with a mana rock, and then sometimes you can flicker it over and over, right? Same logic here. You have to, like, untap with it. Oh, actually, it's not true. You get the blue mana immediately, so Essence Flux is viable here, but not so much here. Not only do you need an extra mana to cast this, you don't then get mana after you cast it, so definitely steeper. But congratulations, you can run Lightning Bolt and Ragavan. And Grenzo. Grenzo's just so threatening. Even against the slowest players with the greediest decks, they still don't want to see Grenzo in play. Just goes to show that the nerf, I think, is just not really much of a nerf. It still puts it... It still allows it to not... You know, you don't just suddenly play it and then just always hit your opponent's Emrakul and then just end the game at 6 mana. So I think they probably had to change it. But the change they did doesn't change the other thing this does, which is just win the game slowly. Well, not even really slowly. But yeah, the ability to just steal Ulamog was really stupid. I think that was stupid, so they had to change it. But it's still just busted. You know, not randomly winning doesn't fundamentally change my take on that card. It just makes it less, like, really stupid. It just makes it less stupid. I thought about 5 mana Jace. I actually thought about a fair amount of 5 mana cards, but this felt like I always wanted this to be the 5 mana play, which is a good sign. I like that. So that's ideal. It doesn't mean you play it right when you get 5 mana, but when you have a 5 mana window that you're willing to send it, it's actually, you know, it's a really solid 5 mana thing to send. I like the ability to exchange cards out of your hand that you have not played yet, so likely not good in whatever you're playing against, and find something maybe better. Most of the time, I drew 2 cards, because my opponent... It's pretty... The more you pay attention, the more you're gonna draw 2, I think. Like, oh, my opponent needs to hit a land next turn, so let's discard a land, because my opponent is probably... They, like, have to have a land if they want to continue the game. They only have, like, 2 cards left, because this is a 5-drop, right? It's not like my opponent has 7 cards. And They still want a land in play, so let's discard a land because they don't want to discard a land, and then I'm probably going to draw 2. Sometimes they're forced to only draw one or discard one kind of thing, and it's nothing you can do. If they only have 2 lands in hand, so be it. Sometimes, actually, maybe about half or even slightly more than half the time, you're just going to discard the card that's weakest in your hand for something better. And if you draw 2, congratulations. But usually it's better to just discard the bad card than try to finagle a good draw 2 out of this. I wasn't really running out of cards anyways, so I don't think the extra card that this could draw is super impactful. But yeah, I like this commander. It's pretty cool. It definitely is one of those commanders where when you're losing against it, oh, it feels so miserable. It's like this slow, grindy resource game. Kind of like Jund in, well, I guess old Jund in Modern, where like they just try to 2-for-1 you 6 times, and eventually you just run out of gas. Unless you have some massive, explosive way to turn it around, which is possible in Historic Brawl, so liked it. I liked it. It was fun. It's good. It has multiple ways to play it, which there's a lot of commanders they can't exactly say that's the case. So the Final Fantasy commanders, they've had multiple avenues, and that's really cool. Celeste is still my favorite. I don't like this as much as Celeste. It's going to be hard to find another commander that surpasses Celeste in this set so far, after having played all like kind of the big shiny ones everyone's interested in. But yeah, I like it. I give it a 8 out of 10. Maybe a 9 out of 10, because it's not broken and it's not bad. And it has a lot of ways to play it. It's an honest commander, and I like that, right? I think, you could rate, let's say, Tifa probably a 9 or 10 out of 10 and have it rated for completely different reasons, right? I'd rate that like a 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10, because it's hard to say it could get better. Like, Tifa's about as good as that effect could ask for. It's 2 mana and has trample already on the card. I guess it could also have had hexproof. That would have been crazy. But Tifa, like, is just really good, really fast, can be extremely hard to play around and play against. So it'd be like a 9 out of 10. Whereas this is like a 9 out of 10 because it leads to 300 to maybe even 400 viable cards that are actually, you could put in the 99. It does something solid. It has its own sort of built-in win condition. It's not egregious, right? It's not this 3 mana card. If this was like a 3 mana 3/3 and the ability was like 5 mana, it'd be like, oh geez. But it shows up like later. It demands that you have other cards that matter a lot, as opposed to Tifa doesn't care as long as you play lands. So you can definitely rate things like a 9 out of 10 for completely different reasons. I think this is a healthier 9 out of 10. Tifa's just like, ooh. But yeah, compared to Celeste, I think Celeste is a 10 out of 10 in design space. I just think Celeste is just amazing. Not broken at all. It's just like design space is excellent. I really, really like that card. And VV is probably closer to a 7 out of 10 for me. Like, it's scary, but you have to untap with it. You have to have certain cards in hand. You have to not lose to what your opponent's doing. So you might need also, like, you might also need, interaction and stuff. Like, VV needs a little bit more help than Kefka, let's say. Kefka actually doesn't even like the waste not help. So I think VV was like kind of like a 7 out of 10. But I don't know, I'm rating all the Final Fantasy commanders right now, but I like this one. It's really fun. So let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.